Before you close your eyes tonight, listen to me carefully. Do not scroll away from this moment. Do not let distraction pull you away, because this message did not find you by accident. You were meant to hear this tonight, right now, at this exact moment. My child, I know how tired you are, not just physically, deep inside your soul. There is a heaviness you have been carrying for so long that even the people around you cannot fully see it anymore. You kept smiling. You kept showing up. You kept telling everyone you were fine. But inside, you have been exhausted. And tonight, before you sleep, I need you to stop running for just a moment and listen to my voice. Because what I am about to tell you could change everything. Do not turn away now. Stay with me. There is something your heart has been longing to hear. Something deeper than comfort, deeper than motivation, deeper than temporary peace. You have spent so long fighting silent battles. Battles nobody applauded, battles nobody noticed. Nights where your mind would not rest. Moments where you smiled in public, then cried in private. Times when you felt surrounded by people, yet completely alone inside. And little by little, you started wondering if anyone truly saw your pain. But I saw it. I saw every silent tear, every anxious thought, every moment you sat awake at night trying to carry burdens that were slowly crushing your spirit. I was there. Even in the moments you thought I had gone silent, even in the moments you thought heaven had forgotten your name, I never left you, not once. And tonight, I need you to hear this with your whole heart. You are not hearing these words by coincidence. This is your confirmation. This is your interruption. This is your moment to stop listening to fear and finally listen to my voice again. Because the enemy has been trying desperately to exhaust you, to distract you, to convince you that nothing will ever change, that you will always feel this empty, this tired, this broken. But that is not the truth. And before this message ends tonight, I am going to show you something you have not been able to see clearly until now. So stay with me a little longer. Do not turn away, because the next part is exactly what your soul needs to hear right now. My child, there is something you still do not fully understand. The pain you tried so hard to hide from everyone else was never hidden from me. I saw the moments when your heart broke silently, the moments when disappointment hit you so deeply that you stopped talking about it altogether. You told yourself to be strong. You told yourself to move on. You told yourself not to feel so much. But the weight never truly left you. It followed you into quiet rooms, into sleepless nights, into conversations where you smiled with your mouth, while your spirit felt completely exhausted. And slowly, without even realizing it, you began carrying everything alone. You carried fear alone, stress alone, sadness alone, questions alone. You became so used to surviving quietly that nobody noticed how much you were actually hurting. But I noticed. I always noticed. I saw the nights when your mind would not stop racing. The moments when you stared at the ceiling asking yourself, how much longer can I keep doing this? I heard the prayers you never even spoke out loud, the tears you wiped away quickly before anyone could see them, the disappointment you buried deep inside your heart because you were tired of explaining your pain to people who did not understand it. My child, listen to me carefully now. You were never weak for feeling overwhelmed. You were never forgotten because heaven felt silent. And you were never abandoned just because the answers did not come when you expected them. I know there were moments when you thought I had stopped listening. Moments when you wondered why everyone else seemed to move forward while you stayed stuck, fighting the same battles over and over again. You watched doors close. You watched people leave. You watched plans fall apart. And somewhere along the way, you started believing the lie that maybe you were simply not worthy of better days. But that lie did not come from me. I have never called you worthless. I have never looked at your brokenness with rejection. I have never been ashamed of you, not even in your weakest moments, not even in the moments you wanted to give up. In fact, those were often the moments I was holding you closest, because there were nights you should have completely fallen apart, yet somehow you kept going. That was not an accident. That was me carrying you when your strength was almost gone. And there is something else I need you to hear tonight. The enemy has been trying to convince you that your story is ending in exhaustion. But I tell you now, your story is not ending here. This season of heaviness will not last forever. This pain will not have the final word. And what I am preparing for your life right now is bigger than the fear that has been tormenting your mind. So do not close your heart now. Do not turn away when breakthrough is closer than you think. Because in the next part, I am going to show you why the waiting was never wasted. My child, I know the waiting has exhausted you. There were so many moments when you asked me, Lord, what are you doing? You prayed, you believed, you tried to hold on, but instead of answers, you were met with silence. And little by little, the silence became heavier than the struggle itself. Because you did not understand why the doors stayed closed, why the breakthrough delayed, why the healing did not happen overnight, why some prayers seemed to rise into heaven without anything changing. But listen to me carefully now. The silence was never abandonment. I was still working, even when you could not see it, even when nothing around you made sense. I was arranging things you could not yet understand, protecting you from paths that would have destroyed your peace, closing doors that would have wounded your future, separating you from people who could not go where I am taking you next. You thought I was ignoring your prayers, but heaven was preparing an answer bigger than what you asked for. You saw delay. I saw preparation. You saw rejection. I saw protection. You saw emptiness. I saw room for something greater to enter your life. My child, there are blessings that cannot arrive until your spirit is strong enough to carry them. And there are seasons where I must first heal your heart before I place new doors in front of you. Because if I gave you everything too early, the weight of it would have crushed you. So while you were crying, I was shaping you. While you were waiting, I was strengthening you. While you thought nothing was changing, I was transforming parts of you that nobody else could see. And one day soon, you will look back at this season and realize something shocking. The very thing that almost broke you was also the thing that prepared you for your next chapter. That pain taught you discernment. That loneliness taught you dependence on me. That delay taught you patience. That heartbreak taught you what truly matters. Nothing was wasted. Not the tears. Not the confusion. Not the sleepless nights. Not even the moments when you almost gave up. I was there through all of it. And I need you to hear this next part with your whole heart. There is something shifting already. Even now, while you are listening to these words, things are moving behind the scenes that you cannot yet see. The breakthrough you thought would never come is closer than you realize. The peace you have been praying for is beginning to rise again inside your spirit, and the enemy knows it. That is why the pressure became so heavy recently. That is why discouragement attacked your mind so intensely, because darkness trembles when your season is about to change. So do not give up now. Do not walk away now. You are too close to what you prayed for. And in the next part, I am going to show you what happens when heaven finally opens the door you thought would never move. My beloved, lift your eyes for a moment, because this is where everything begins to change. You have spent so much time expecting disappointment. That hope started feeling dangerous to you. You stopped expecting good news, stopped expecting doors to open, stopped believing that anything beautiful could still happen for your life. And yet, through all of that exhaustion, I was still writing your story. Even in the moments where nothing made sense, even in the moments where you felt forgotten, I was preparing a breakthrough that you cannot fully see yet. My child, hear me carefully now. The season you are walking through is not your final destination. This heaviness is not your permanent home, and the tears you cried in private have not fallen to the ground unnoticed. I have collected every single one. There were nights when you felt like giving up completely, moments where the pressure became so intense that you wondered if you could keep going another day. But look at you now. You are still here, still breathing, still listening, still holding on even when your strength felt almost gone. That is not weakness. That is proof that my hand has been sustaining you all along. And now, the very thing you thought would destroy you is becoming the foundation of the next season I am bringing into your life. The pain is turning into wisdom. The waiting is turning into strength. The loneliness is turning into deeper intimacy with me. And what once wounded your heart will one day become part of the testimony that heals someone else. Nothing was wasted, not the betrayal, not the delay, not the heartbreak, not the confusion. I am weaving every broken piece together into something greater than you can imagine right now. That closed door was not punishment. I was redirecting you. That separation was not abandonment. I was protecting your future. That season of silence was not emptiness. It was preparation. Because there are blessings coming into your life that require a stronger version of you, a wiser version, a healed version. And even now, things are beginning to shift. You may not see it yet with your eyes, but your spirit can feel it. Something has been changing recently. The way you think, the way you see yourself, the way certain people no longer fit into your life the way they used to. That is not random. That is transition. You are stepping out of an old season, and the enemy knows it. That is why discouragement attacked you so fiercely. That is why fear tried to overwhelm your mind. That is why exhaustion became so heavy, because darkness trembles when a child of God is about to rise again. So listen to me carefully. Do not stop now. Do not walk away now. You are far too close to the breakthrough you prayed for in secret. Far too close to the peace you thought you would never feel again. Far too close to the moment where everything finally begins making sense. And before we go further, if God has carried you through seasons that should have destroyed you, right, He never left me, because the next part is where I reveal what heaven is preparing to place in your hands next. My child, this is the moment where many people turn away, not because I stopped speaking, but because fear begins whispering louder than faith. And I need you to stay with me right now, because something important is happening in your spirit. Even if you cannot fully explain it yet, you have been standing at the edge of a turning point without realizing it. That is why the battle became so intense recently. The confusion, the exhaustion, the sudden waves of discouragement, the feeling of wanting to isolate yourself from everyone, the pressure to give up. None of that was random. The enemy attacks hardest when he knows breakthrough is near. And for some time now, you have been closer than you think. Closer to healing, closer to peace, closer to freedom from the very thing that has tormented your mind for so long. But hear me carefully now. This is not the time to retreat. This is not the time to let fear pull you backwards. Do not let distraction steal this moment from you, because there are things shifting right now that your eyes cannot yet see. Doors are beginning to move. Chains are beginning to break. Weights you carried for years are beginning to loosen their grip on your soul. And still, part of you is afraid to believe it, because disappointment taught you to expect the worst. You learned to protect your heart by expecting nothing. You stopped hoping fully because hope felt too painful after everything you survived. But my child, I did not bring you this far just to abandon you now. I did not carry you through all those nights of pain just to leave you in darkness forever. There is purpose behind this moment. There is a reason this message found you tonight, and not another day. Because heaven knew you were reaching the point of exhaustion. Heaven knew your spirit needed strength before you gave up on yourself completely. And now I am calling you closer, not away from me. Closer. Do not run back toward the lies that almost destroyed your peace. Do not run back toward the fear that kept you trapped. Do not run back toward the version of yourself that believed healing would never come. You are not who you were a few seasons ago. You have survived too much to stay the same. You have cried too many tears to remain unchanged. You have walked through too much fire for there not to be growth inside you now. And even though you still feel weak at times, I have been rebuilding your spirit little by little, quietly, patiently, day by day. That is why some things no longer satisfy you the way they once did. That is why your soul has been craving deeper peace. That is why you feel restless trying to stay in places I already called you out of. Transformation has already begun, and the enemy is terrified that you are finally starting to see your value through my eyes instead of through your wounds. So stay with me now. Do not close this message. Do not disconnect your heart from what I am speaking over your life, because the next part is where I need you to fully understand what happens when you finally stop carrying everything alone. My beloved, you were never meant to carry all of this alone. Not the fear, not the shame, not the pressure to keep pretending that everything is okay. For so long, you have been trying to survive by holding everything inside. You kept telling yourself, I'll deal with it later. I just need to stay strong. I cannot let anyone see me falling apart. But my child, your soul has grown weary from carrying burdens I never asked you to carry by yourself. And tonight, I am asking you to stop hiding. Not from people, from me. Because there are still places inside your heart that you keep locked away. The memories you do not talk about. The wounds you pretend no longer hurt. The fears you bury behind silence. The disappointments you try to ignore during the day, but still feel late at night when everything becomes quiet. I see all of it. And still, I love you completely. Do you understand what I am saying to you right now? You do not have to become perfect before you come closer to me. You do not have to clean yourself up first. You do not have to hide the broken parts of your life. I already see every scar, every failure, every question, every moment of weakness. And I have never once turned away from you. Not once. The enemy has lied to you for too long. He told you that your weakness disqualified you, that your mistakes ruined your future, that you were too damaged to be truly loved. But hear my voice clearly tonight. That is not what I say about you. I call you mine. I call you chosen. I call you loved. Even now, while you are still healing. Even now, while you are still learning how to trust again. Even now, while there are still tears hidden inside your heart, my child. I am not asking you for performance. I am asking you for honesty. I am not asking you to impress me. I am asking you to surrender. To finally stop carrying everything by yourself. To stop pretending you are not tired. To stop acting like your heart has not been wounded. To stop believing the lie that you must fight every battle alone. Because healing begins the moment you stop hiding. Peace begins the moment you stop running. Freedom begins the moment you finally let me into the deepest parts of your soul. And I know surrender feels frightening to you. Because life has taught you to protect yourself. People hurt you. Promises failed you. Trust disappointed you. So now you fear opening your heart again. But I am not like the people who walked away from you. I will not abandon you in your weakness. I will not shame you for your scars. I will not reject you for your brokenness. In fact, those are often the places where my love reaches you the deepest. So come closer now. Lay the fear down. Lay the exhaustion down. Lay the shame down. You do not need to carry it anymore. And if your heart is ready to stop fighting this battle alone, right, I surrender. Because in the next part, I am going to show you what begins to happen when you finally place your future completely in my hands. My child, now I need you to lift your eyes beyond the pain, beyond the fear, beyond the exhaustion that has clouded your spirit for so long, because what I am preparing for your life is greater than the season you are currently walking through. You thought this story was ending in sorrow, but heaven is only beginning a new chapter. There is still purpose over your life, still destiny attached to your name, still promises waiting to unfold in ways you cannot yet imagine. And I know sometimes you struggle to believe that, because pain has a way of shrinking your vision. Disappointment has a way of convincing you that nothing beautiful could possibly come next. But my beloved, you are not who your wounds say you are. You are not the failure fear keeps reminding you about. You are not the mistakes that still haunt your thoughts late at night. You are not the rejection you survived. You are not the betrayal that broke your trust. You are mine, and when I look at you, I do not see ruined potential. I see a future still filled with purpose. I see strength being formed inside your spirit. I see wisdom growing from every season that tried to break you. I see a testimony being written through your survival. There are people you have not met yet, who will one day find hope because you refuse to give up. There are doors waiting to open that no person can shut. There are blessings already moving toward your life that you cannot yet see with natural eyes. There are prayers you cried years ago that are still alive before heaven. Nothing has been forgotten. Nothing has been wasted. And hear me carefully now. The enemy wanted your pain to convince you that your future had died. But I say to you tonight, your future is still alive. Your calling is still alive. Your purpose is still alive. The dream you buried in discouragement, I am able to breathe life into it again. The peace you thought you lost forever, I am restoring it little by little. The confidence that fear stole from you, I am rebuilding it inside your spirit. Because this next season will not look like the last one. You are stepping into deeper clarity, deeper peace, deeper strength, and deeper understanding of who you truly are in me. That is why I have been pulling certain things away from your life. Some relationships, some distractions, some old mindsets. Because where I am taking you next, you cannot keep carrying the weight of who you used to be. Transformation requires surrender, and growth requires letting go. So do not fear this new season. Do not fear the unknown road ahead. I am already there before you, guiding you, protecting you, opening doors at the right time, closing doors that would have harmed you, and even when you cannot see the full picture yet, you can trust my heart for you, because I have never once stopped working on your behalf, not in your darkest night, not in your waiting season, not in your moments of weakness, and certainly not now. So lift your head again, my child. Your story is not over. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. And you are far more loved than you realize. Before this message ends, there is one final thing I need you to hear. One final truth that could completely change the way you walk into your next season. My beloved, this is the final thing I need you to understand tonight. After all the pain, after all the waiting, after all the nights where you questioned whether you were truly seen, I need you to hear this truth deep within your soul. You were never forgotten, not for a single moment. Even when life became heavy, even when your prayers felt unanswered, even when fear whispered that you were alone, I was still there, watching over you, protecting you from things you never even realized could have destroyed you, carrying you through seasons that should have broken you completely. And now, look how far you have come. You survived days you once thought would destroy you. You made it through nights where your heart felt unbearably heavy. You kept breathing through battles nobody else fully understood. And even though you still carry scars, those scars are not proof that I abandoned you. They are proof that I brought you through. My child, do not be ashamed of the chapters that wounded you, because one day, those same chapters will become the testimony that reminds others not to give up. Nothing in your life has been meaningless. Not the waiting, not the heartbreak, not the silence, not even the moments when you almost lost hope completely. I was weaving purpose through every piece of it. And now, a new season is beginning to rise before you. Can you feel it? Something inside you has already started changing. Your spirit is waking up again. Hope is slowly returning. Strength is rising where exhaustion once lived. Peace is beginning to replace the fear that tormented your mind for so long. This is not the end of your story. This is the moment where healing begins to fully unfold. This is the moment where chains finally begin to break. This is the moment where you stop seeing yourself through pain and start seeing yourself through my love. So do not turn away now. Do not go back to believing the lies that almost destroyed your peace. Do not go back to hiding your heart in fear. You are chosen. You are loved. You are seen. You are still called. And there is still destiny over your life. Even now. Especially now. My beloved, before this message ends, I want you to take one deep breath and let this truth settle inside your spirit. You do not have to carry tomorrow alone. You do not have to fight every battle in your own strength. You do not have to keep pretending you are okay when your soul is tired. Give it to me. The fear, the anxiety, the heartbreak, the exhaustion. Lay it down tonight and let my peace cover you again, because I am not leaving you. I am not abandoning you, and I am not finished with your story. Better days are coming. Healing is coming. Clarity is coming. Peace is coming. And one day soon, you will realize that this painful season was not the place where your life ended. It was the place where everything began to change. If you are ready to walk into the new season God is preparing for your life, write, Amen, and share this message with someone who needs to remember tonight that God has never stopped loving them.